crews are in so the construction can begin. Hi, I'm James Gordon, live at Gulf Shores. I'll give you a tour of the latest volunteer kids park. That's next.
And the Santa Ana winds continue to whip wildfires out of control.
We'll have a live update on the efforts to fight them.
Plus a World Series preview and weather next on Fox 10.
You're watching WALA Fox 10, bringing you more news more often. Now, from the #1 news station on the Gulf Coast, this is Fox 10 Action News, live at 5 p.m.
The Value Jet is getting ready for takeoff again in the port city. Hello everyone, I'm Jason Berry. Coming up, I'll tell you about the troubled airline's return to the Gulf Coast.
But first, weather is making headlines across the country. In California, dry brush and erratic winds are the recipe for spreading this disaster. Hi everyone, I'm Bob Grip.
And I'm Nancy Pierce. Thanks for joining us tonight. Mobile Sheriff's deputies are investigating a gruesome discovery tonight, a body on the side of Rangeline Road and Hamilton Boulevard.
Fox 10's Krista Marino is there. Krista, what can you tell us?
That's right. Well, I can tell you that they're just loading the body, and now, Jerry, if you want to zoom on in there, they've just loaded the body into the ambulance that they found out here on Rangeline Road and Hurricane Bay Drive. This is an empty lot of land. The Sheriff's Department has been out here for about an hour and a half. We don't know who notified them about this body. We do not know anything about it, whether it is a male or female. There you can see them searching today. We've been out here for about an hour and a half. We had about a dozen deputies looking over the area today. They, of course, were taped off the crime scene, measuring everything. They are looking over the entire field for evidence or clues as to how this person got here. Again, we don't know the sex of the person. We don't know the race of the person or age. All we know is that they did discover a body out here in this empty field. Now, if we can come back live, you can see the ambulance is just getting ready to take off. Of course, as soon as we know anything more about this, we're going to bring it right to you.
Okay, Krista, any indication, anything about whether this is natural causes, whether this is foul play, anything like that?
Right, well, as you watch the ambulance drive off here, no. The police have not commented. They're not talking until they get this area cleaned up. So we do not know one stitch of information about natural cause of death, what happened. But as soon as we learn something, now that I think that the evidence is being taken away, they'll probably search the area, make sure looking for tire marks, looking for, evidence of a weapon, anything. As soon as that happens, they'll probably talk to us. We're going to get some information as soon as we can, and as soon as we hear anything, of course, we'll bring it right to you. Bob?
Thanks, Krista. Nancy?
More than 13,000 acres and 68 homes have fallen to wildfires in California this week, and exhaustion is taking its toll. U.S. Marines from Camp Pendleton flew in this morning to help firefighters battle the blaze. Fox 10's Brian Jenkins is in Malibu, California tonight. He joins us with the latest.
Mother Nature's fiery onslaught against Southern California raged throughout the night, with fires consuming entire hillsides. Walls of flame roared through canyons and over mountaintops, blackening more than 13,000 acres in a relentless march to the sea. Southern California's firestorm began in Orange County early yesterday. Desert winds, called the Santa Anas, toppled power lines, sparking the dry tinderbrush in the exclusive Lemon Heights neighborhood. White-hot embers swept along by 45-mile-per-hour winds torched one home after another, chasing people and pets to safer ground. Here, 10 homes were destroyed, 19 others damaged. In Malibu, there continues to be a series of close calls, with 3 homes already lost to the blaze. As the sun rose over the mountains, it was clear the firefighters' work was far from complete. More than 2,500 men and women from across the state held the fire lines. California's governor arrived this morning to praise their efforts.
But when you consider the loss of the property, the homes that were destroyed in that 93 fire, contrast that with what has occurred in this one to date, the performance, I think, has been not just praiseworthy, it has been outstanding.
Water drops from helicopters and fixed-wing planes have killed parts of the flame, but there are still major flare-ups in other areas, and high winds and dry terrain threaten to keep those flames alive, with the firefighters at their posts for what could be another long night.
2 injuries have been reported so far. A homeowner burned on more than 45% of his body, and a firefighter who suffered a broken neck in the crash.
On the other side of the country, too much water is the problem. Communities all over the Northeast are flooded out tonight following a nor'easter this past weekend. In Boston, which recorded its second highest rainfall total in history, commuters faced flooded streets and subways during rush hour this morning. In Maine, hail pounded drivers on their way to work. The governors in New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Maine have all declared states of emergency, and at least 5 deaths are blamed on the flooding. A morning shopping trip turned terrifying for some Florida shoppers today. That's because a small Cessna landed on the roof of a grocery store near Venice, Florida. The pilot was trying to make it to the airport a half-mile away when his plane lost power. The only thing keeping the plane from skidding off the roof was the building's front sign. The pilot received minor injuries. The Sunshine State is playing host to more presidential campaigning this week. President Bill Clinton was in Miami this afternoon speaking at a community college. This morning he outlined his vision for foreign policy, including European security and plans to expand NATO by the year 2000. Republican candidate Bob Dole was criticizing those plans at a Michigan rally this morning, alleging that President Clinton will say anything to get elected. Not to be outdone by Ross Perot, Dole has made some plans to visit the Gulf Coast. Tomorrow, he will appear at Gulf Coast Community College in Panama City, Florida. Then on Thursday, Dole has planned 2 rallies at the Wall South in Pensacola. This announcement comes a day after Reform Party candidate Ross Perot announced his plans to come to Pensacola this Friday. If you're planning to cast your ballot in this November's election, you have to be registered to vote or have your absentee ballot request submitted by this Friday. You can contact your voter registrar's office to find out exactly how. One of Alabama's top political races is heating up. For the first time in 10 years, voters will send a new senator to Washington. This week, Fox 10's Amy Greer takes an inside look at the campaign, on the road with Attorney General Jeff Sessions and State Senator Roger Bedford. What do voters believe matters most? Amy talks with the candidates and gets behind the campaign ads. What's the real story? It's all this week at 6 o'clock on Fox 10 Action News.
Sam Cochran will have to wait one more day before permanently pinning on the badge of Mobile's chief of police. The city council held up the vote to confirm him as the Port City's top cop until tomorrow, giving members time to review Cochran's contract. Council members expressed concerns in 2 areas, the chief's salary and his Baldwin County residency. But Council President Clinton Johnson says a draft of the contract addresses both issues. He tells us the chief's contract will start Cochran out at $85,000 for his first probationary year, then go to $91,000. The amount of former Chief Harold Johnson's salary. As for the controversial issue of Cochran's Baldwin County home, Johnson says the contract will require him to move to Mobile. The council will meet in special session tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock to approve Cochran's appointment. It is the most talked about airline in America. 4 months after ValueJet was grounded, the low-fare carrier is taking off on the Gulf Coast again. ValueJet will start up service in Mobile Thursday, and as Fox 10's Jason Berry tells us, local travelers are happy to have it back.
It's no trick, but it should be quite a treat for Gulf Coast travelers. ValueJet Airlines is getting ready to spread its wings over Mobile again, making air travel more affordable.
I think it's a good thing. I think it's good that it can possibly bring other airlines to lower their prices.
I think it's wonderful they're coming back myself, because all planes have problems. All automobiles have problems. Why pick out ValueJet to punish, so to speak?
You don't have any concerns about safety or anything like that?
No, sir. Not one bit. I think it's great.
From now until the end of the month, you can fly to and from Atlanta for $29 each way without an advance purchase. And the great thing is, Delta is matching the low fare. After that, tickets will stay low on both carriers, with the $29 seats still available with a 21-day advance purchase.
Right now, ticket sales are down a bit from what ValueJet officials were hoping for, but the feeling around here is, once the airline gets off the ground, passengers will come.
The numbers were so good before, I don't think it'll take long. They'll see families and friends and other things in and out, and they'll be right behind them. We hope so anyway.
ValueJet employees spent the morning getting ready for the grand reopening. The first flight out of Mobile will be at 1 o'clock Thursday afternoon. ValueJet officials say once passengers see the low-fare carrier flying high again, they'll be back on board. In Mobile, Jason Berry, Fox 10 Action News.
ValueJet will have 2 daily flights to and from Atlanta.
Sometimes when you're sick, the hospital is the worst place you can go.
In tonight's House Calls, we'll take a look at an option that is closer to home.
And break out your hammer, because your help is needed as a volunteer to help build a new park at Gulf Shores. I'll have that story coming up in just a moment.
Now, staying healthy on Fox 10 Action News.
This year, Americans spent more than $50 billion on long-term medical care. Much of that money was spent on long hospital stays or nursing homes. In tonight's House Calls report, an alternative that is growing in popularity. Nurse Glenda Sanders takes her health care on the road. She's one of the growing number of home health providers.
It cuts down a lot of family exhaustion, because if the patient's in the hospital, then somebody's running from home to the hospital.
This morning, Glenda's checking on 83-year-old Lily Newman.
How are you today? I'm good.
There are about 7,000 home health care agencies in the U.S. They're more common these days because hospital equipment is getting smaller and more mobile. Why not take that high-tech setting and be able to deliver it in the home for people who it's very difficult to get out of the home setting? The cost difference is dramatic. A day in the hospital can be more than $1,000. A home visit, about $150. Experts say the peace home health care can bring can't be calculated. This is about choices. This is about dignity. This is about self-respect. How do I want to do? Control. This is about who I want to be. For Lily, her home visit means more than just a quick medical checkup.
Oh, it gives me so much hope and encouragement.
Home health care supporters also say patients worry less about treatment mistakes when they're at home. About 11 million Americans of all ages need long-term health care. As the country ages, that number is expected to double in the next 30 years. If you'd like more information, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to House Calls, Fox 10 Action News, Post Office Box 1548, Mobile, Alabama 36633. Bob?
It's been years in the making, but tonight the kids of Gulf Shores are one step closer to having a park of their very own. Fox 10's James Gordon is live in Gulf Shores now, where the community has come together for its kids. James, I hear you pitched in today. How's it going?
That's right. I had to work a little bit. Actually, I volunteered just like many others today. It's been a great day, great weather. A lot of folks turning out after lunch, especially, and then after work and after school. And right here, right next to me, this young lady got off of school and ran over here to help out, right? What's your name?
Melissa Plash.
What have you done today so far since you've been here?
Put holes in boards for them to drill.
And do you think that after all this construction you'll be back to play, once it's all built?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thanks, Melissa. And here's a school teacher, first grade teacher in Foley, right?
Right.
And you came out as well. As soon as school was out, you ran over here.
School was out, yes.
Okay. What have you done so far?
I have carried 2x4s and drilled holes in 2x4s.
This is a great project, don't you think? The whole community just working together like that?
It's great.
Okay, well, we appreciate your help, too.
Thank you.
Okay, let's walk over here real quick, Wade. Let's show these other young ladies over here from one of the local high schools, too. They got off of school and ran over here to... What are you doing right now? You're putting a sealant on that wood?
Yeah, keep the water out.
Okay, what high school do you go to?
Foley High School.
Okay, how about the other young ladies here? Are they your classmates, or...?
They all go to Foley.
Hey, look at that. Foley turned out to help Gulf Shores out, right? Great, great. And we want to let you know about the times and the days for this project. Again, real quick, there it is at Johnny Sims Park from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. today through Sunday. And if you want more information and you want to sign up as a volunteer, all you have to do is dial that number, 967-7823. And as well, some of the organizers tell me that they need some more tools to be donated. And I can read those off real quickly here if I can find the paper. Here we go. Let's see. They need some tape, some speed squares, combination squares, hammers, some levels, drills, screwdrivers, all kinds of things. Again, call that phone number that you saw on your screen, and you can sign up as volunteers. It's a great project, and it'll all be finished and done by Sunday.
So you need lots of tools and lots of workers, too, right?
That's right.
All right, thanks, James.
Okay, Bob.
Well, I hope the rain holds off until they finish work tonight at 10 o'clock.
Well, you can't go too many days with good weather around here. We've got a change on the way outside. Currently, we're in the mid-70s. The forecast is next.
Now, Fox 10 Action News at 5 p.m. continues.
Well, we went up into the low 80s today. Matter of fact, 80, 81 degrees. That were the highs along the Gulf Coast, and it's currently 75 in Mobile, 76 in Pensacola. And yes, it's raining over toward Hattiesburg as cooler air is coming out of Texas and Oklahoma and pushing east. You can see where the center of the storm is. It's up here in northern Missouri, and then we have that cold front running down across Mississippi, and right along that cold front, you've got some pretty heavy thunderstorms. Matter of fact, there's a severe thunderstorm watch in effect right now from northern Mississippi across western Tennessee and Kentucky, and here's that loop right here, the center of the storm. These thunderstorms are going to be moving east over the next hour or so. That means we're going to get some showers between now and midnight tonight, and then the cooler air is going to blow itself in here. Right now, some showers are running from up around Choctaw County over to Clark County and running right across Washington County in Alabama, right on down to Jackson County in Mississippi. Some intense thunderstorms north of Biloxi on up east of Picayune right now in southern Mississippi. Here's the cold front. It's on the map right there, and it's pushing east rather quickly. Heavy thunderstorms. Matter of fact, on the backside of this low right here, the rain is changing over to snow in Kansas and Nebraska and up into Iowa, and that will also affect some parts of Missouri and Illinois tonight. You can see the cold air is pushing east. It's coming right across out of the plains and in toward the southern part of the country. Here's your map for tomorrow. It's going to be clearing as high pressure builds off to the west of us. The cold front by tomorrow afternoon is going to be over toward Jacksonville, Florida. Overnight tonight, it's going to be cloudy. Expect some showers, a few hit-and-miss showers and thunderstorms between now and about midnight, then clearing skies after that as the winds shift to the northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. The overnight low in the mid-50s, clearing and cooler is your forecast tomorrow. It's going to be breezy at times and sunny. The high tomorrow, the upper 60s to near 70 degrees with northwest winds. Sunshine for the most part on Thursday, a high of 75, but look at that low Thursday morning, 45 degrees. A chance of some scattered showers on Friday, a better chance of rain Saturday, and maybe some raindrops still with us on Sunday. Highs in the 70s over the weekend and lows in the 50s. Today's weather pictures by Reynolds Bradner. Reynolds goes to St. Pius, and he is watching some really bad weather, and we don't want any of that around here.
And we don't want any of that in Atlanta tonight either.
No.
Don't think we're going to have any problem with that, are we, John Ed?
It looks like the ball game's going to happen, the rain's going to happen, then another ball game's going to happen.
Yeah. Would that be a sweep then if things work out just right? Braves looking very tough. We're going to take a look at last night's game when we get back. Stay with us. The Saints called a press conference to announce a new head coach today, then called it off, saying the announcement had to be delayed so they could work out financial details, but the team's expected to name Chet Franklin as replacement for Jim Mora, who resigned yesterday. Franklin is currently the Saints' director of pro personnel. Go to some baseball now, and the Braves looking pretty good, aren't they? Last night, they shredded the Yankees for a second game in a row to take a commanding lead in the World Series. Show you some of it after Mark Lemke had doubled in the first. Fred McGriff comes through with 2 outs. It was 1-0 Bravos. Jimmy Key, a frustrated night, threw out in the third. McGriff up there again a rope off Key. This time it's Grissom scoring from third to make it 2-0. Fred also had a sac fly, 3 RBI on the night. Greg Maddux, oh, brilliant. How many times have you seen Wade Boggs take just an ugly swing at it? Maddux throws him out, then almost has to choke back a laugh. That's Wade Boggs, one of the best hitters in the last 10 years. Maddux goes 8 innings, 6-hit baseball. Braves win at 4-0, and Maddux says he was pretty proud of his performance.
Stadium Braves, 9th inning.
You know, I've had games where I might have pitched better, but under the circumstances, you know, this is going to be a game I'll probably take to the grave with me.
All right, the series now shifts to Atlanta for Game 3. Tom Glavine and Dave Cohn are the starting pitchers, and you can watch it right here on Fox 10 beginning at 7 o'clock tonight. Let's show you what's shaking in the highlight zone. Maestro, please. Let's do some NBA. That's New Jersey Nets rookie Kerry Kittles. Look at this with his back to the hoop. Throws it up and in off the glass, plus giving an extra one. John Calipari, the Nets coach, says, thank God I have that guy. Penny Hardaway here hanging, hooping, and he's fouled. Penny, just a classic. We're going to take you to the NHL. Detroit Red Wings Steve Yzerman. Watch this. Working. Finally shoots and scores. You got to look at this one, reverse angle, in slow motion. Yzerman, look at him just use the LA Kings goalie. He doesn't know what to do. Finally, Yzerman scoring off the impossible angle there. Finally, we do the NFL. The Chargers quarterback Stan Humphrey sliding in. Raiders Chester McLaughlin, 325 pounds. coming down on him. Humphreys separated his left shoulder there.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I would think so.
325 pounds thrown down on your left shoulder. Gotta hurt.
Yeah. Just a bit. Ouch. Thanks, Lance.
We'll be right back.
Phone service for members of the Fox 10 cellular phone network is provided by GTE MobileNet.
Let's check back in with Krista Marino, who has an update on that body that was found near Rangeline Road and Hamilton Boulevard.
Krista, what new information do you have for us?
Well, Nancy, not too much information. The sheriff's deputies just left. They found the body about an hour, 2 hours ago. Actually, it was someone who was walking on this property. It's an empty lot of land for sale that actually made the discovery and called police. Right now, the body has been sent to forensics for testing. As soon as we know something, we're going to let you know. I'll have another live report coming up at 6 o'clock. Bob, Nancy.
All right, thanks, Krista. And that's all the time we have for Fox 10 Action News at 5 p.m.
Jeopardy is coming up next. Then in the Centers and I will be back with Fox 10 Action News at 6 p.m.
You have a great night.